So, stimulus time. Senator Chuck Schumer says that he is ready to end the debate on the stimulus bill and put it up for a vote. So, meanwhile, he's done. Like he's like, hey, well, you guys had all these amendments you wanted to throw at it. We had over 100 different amendments from different members of Senate, the Congress, that threw in there the things that they wanted, little pork projects back and forth in their district, et cetera. Over 100 different amendments. He says, I'm confident we'll be able to get through this and be able to even maybe bring it up for a vote on the weekend. And both Republicans and Democrats are eerily similar in this whole thing. They're like, this thing is fantastic. They're like, no, we figured out a way to pay for it. It'll pay for itself. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it. Don't worry about it at all. We've got a way to pay for all this. So, it turns out that that's not exactly true, because the Congressional Budget Office has completed its analysis of President Biden's $1 trillion infrastructure bill and found that actually it would not pay for itself, as the White House has been saying all along. And not just the White House, I should say, but also Republicans have been saying this. Instead, the bill package itself would add, instead of paying for itself, how are your numbers off so much that it would add $256 billion over the next 10 years? It'll cost us. It's not going to pay for itself. It's going to cost us $256 billion over the next 10 years. Now, remember, the Congressional Budget Office is a nonpartisan number crunching group, right? They only analyze the economics of a bill, bipartisan. And I always love this because it seems like both parties, they always say, we got to wait to see what the CBO says before I'm supporting anything. You know, if the CBO comes back and says this thing is a bloated mess, if we can't pay, then I'm not going to support it. They always defer to the CBO. And then they always ignore the CBO once it comes back with something they don't like. So, they give this information out to the Senate. It gives them some important things to think about as it continues to hammer out some of the details and the final price tags here. But by all looks like that this ship has sailed. Forget slashing anything here, or forget trying to raise taxes on wealthy people to pay for it. No, can't do that. Republicans have said we can't do that. Not all senators buy this analysis, so they're moving forward anyway on this. Some say that they get different math from the CBO in their own analysis of the bill. Like they did their own analysis, and it's just the math is just totally different than what the CBO got. They say their math checks out. Our math is good. Their math is bad. Here's the thing with numbers, they don't lie. So what are you basing this on, where you're $256 billion in difference? So it's fuzzy math. The Senate could vote on the package over the weekend, and we could see this stimulus plan roll out. Now, the real question on all of this is how, that the $3.5 trillion human interest stimulus plan, that's the next big test. If this moves forward, remember, progressives have said they would not support this vote on this bill, the bipartisan bill, unless it's already moving forward. And I haven't seen any indication that it's moving forward. Like perhaps new stimulus, a new round of stimulus checks, perhaps additional support for early childhood development, elderly care, etc. I haven't seen anything like that. What I have seen, though, is the Biden administration now threatening the potential of holding back Medicare money for different states and for the elderly if they have not been vaccinated. And if schools don't take the measures to try to get students vaccinated, they're going to hold back different funding for elder care, Medicare. So that's what, the White House is focused on that piece of it. But moving forward with the $3.5 trillion plan that would help people and get money into their hands, that I haven't seen any movement on that at all. Let me know in the chat what you think about this. So that is your stimulus update on this Friday. Wolf Clan wants to know how unbiased the CBO is. I mean, both parties, they all agree that the CBO, for years I've talked to senators and members of the House of Representatives that I've interviewed, and they're always, herald the CBO, that they do great work, they're non-biased, they just look at the numbers based on these programs, that's it. But it's amazing to me because you have Republicans basically saying, their numbers are inflated. My math is fine. We got it. Like Republicans who normally would be like, wait a minute, how are we going to pay for this? So Republicans are coming out saying, hey, the CBO's numbers are off. We're good. We're good here.
Well, you know what? I think if the United States government funded the research that created the virus, then they should fund the solution. They should pay for all of this, all of our medical bills, all of the everything.
Yeah, I agree. And well, the thing is, the reason they're going to keep this quiet is because you imagine how many lawsuits you ended up having. We finally have this admission about all of this. All of these businesses. I was talking with my mom this morning about businesses in Pennsylvania where she is, and she said, "Yeah, you remember that restaurant down the street from us?" And she said, "Yeah, they closed. They couldn't keep up. It was a breakfast place. They went out of business." She said another place down the street that we really loved, that place went out of business. They're done. Where's the government to help those people? And but we can sure as heck make sure that Wall Street gets money. We can sure as heck make sure that billionaires are getting money.
And we can sure make sure we can afford to kill people.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that, by the way? I don't know if this is a side note on this whole thing, but yesterday at the White House, President Biden had a bunch of the auto workers there and the CEOs from the big auto companies there, like Jeep and like Ford, I think. And they were there. He was there talking about by 2030, we're going to be electric, and that's the move. We're going to be an all-electric car or fleet of vehicles. So he invited all these car manufacturers on electric vehicle front he drove around in an electric Jeep and the whole thing. But he didn't invite Tesla. He didn't invite Elon Musk because, Elon Musk is anti-union. So it was only unionized people that were brought. But isn't it funny? Like Tesla did this, with their own funding, right? Tesla built cars, more electric cars than anyone in the world.
Well, and basically started this quote unquote trend. I mean, I call it a trend, but basically started this and proved that people will buy electric vehicles.
And so Biden's there yesterday, basically, in many ways, almost like giving handouts to these companies that showed up. Like, hey, these are the incentives. You get here are the tax breaks you'll get. Here's what we're going to put this funding here. So the car manufacturer's like, yeah, give me the money. Give me the money, government. I mean, while Tesla doesn't get invited. I don't know. It was all the crony capitalism. Call it what you want. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. You can also become a channel member by going to morninginvest.com/join, where you can stick it to the mainstream media and support independent journalism. We're able to bring you the stories that you won't see on any of the major billionaire-backed networks. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time, everyone.